Thank you so much, Monisha, for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
So am I, Puneet. In fact, the only reason why I'm not introducing you verbally is because I want you to tell us all about yourself in your own words, Puneet. So how has your personal journey been? Where did it begin? And how have you come this far? Please do tell us a little bit in your own words.
Well, I'm a person with dyslexia, dyspraxia, and stammering, and I come from a low-income area or a slum called Sangam in New Delhi, India, and I see, I have talked a lot of times, but I see my life as you know as intersection of an interaction of poverty, being born in a slum, having an abusive father. So I call myself and my mother as well, domestic violence survivor, and and going through all of these things with multiple non-apparent disabilities. So I think this all these experiences have shaped me, who I am today, and how I think and how I see my work and our society as a whole. So I just wanted to play my part and contribute in whatever form I can, to make this place a better place.
It's amazing, right, Puneet? And the reason I'm saying it's amazing is because when we think about these large subjects of missing out from the field of inclusion, somewhere we do not discuss openly the economic divide that exists in our society, right? And we forget the basic fact that exclusion affects everybody. In certain aspects, I feel we are all equal, because when it comes to being excluded for a for a reason such as disability, be it visible or invisible, I think somewhere the society treats us all as exclusively as the other, right? But I'm sure it hasn't been easy, Puneet, for you to grow up in the stringent situation that you have been. So I'm hearing not just an economic divide in your case, I'm also hearing abuse. I'm hearing the struggle that you have had to go undergo because of all these layers. Do you have any pivotal moment that you recollect from your memory in life, younger days, which actually triggered your journey into turning you into a crusader for speaking about inclusion, doing work with this respect?
Well, Manisha, when I look back, you know, uh, in hindsight, we will always connect the dots, and I see my life as so beautiful. When I describe life as beautiful, a lot of people say or no, like say to me that how do you see it as beautiful, but how things have turned for me. How I was just trying to do something, trying to make space for myself and for people like me. I think that has really helped me, because actually I was just making an effort. I was just trying, to be there and to have a voice. And for me, like, I'm a very like, I have that guilt in myself that if I do something for myself, then it's a bad thing. In this, then that you are a selfish person and all of these things. So my whatever I'm doing, whatever my self advocacy and all of these things, it's coming from a space where I care for other people a lot. I care for people like me who have gone through uh, poverty and disability at the same time, and coming from a place like, uh, yeah, disability doesn't discriminate, but I think uh, there is certain uh, a kind of a cushion that people with people who doesn't have to stress about their next meal. For me, I think when I started to work very early in my life, despite having stammering, and then I have to do something which requires speaking a lot. So that was making me making me really social. That was really helping me to gain skills. Maybe I want it or not, I don't want it, because at night, I was just I was just, I just wanted to escape or hide because of the ridicule or mockery I was facing. But now when I look back in time, like it has really helped me to have a good communication skills. So I think having not having an option is also good, and I don't have an option, and that's the best thing. Even now, like when I do have some options, I make sure that I do not have an option, because when you have that thing that you have to do it, then I think you will find ways to do it. So I think we my life has been just like that, that you have to do it. For me, like, you have to show up, you have to
Hmm.
you have to talk about yourself, because you're not talking about yourself, I'm talking about other people, other youngsters, and especially like when it comes to myself, I see myself as in a spotlight. The people who
Hmm.
know me know that that I do not like to talk about myself. I'm just raising issues, I'm just talking about the things that is happening all over the world.
Hmm.
So I see this is as a responsibility, that maybe I have a good writing skills, I have a good followership on social media. I take this as a duty, that okay, now I have to talk about things that matter more than myself.
Absolutely. I can hear your, intent through your words, Puneet, because you haven't really, emphasized, upon your own tragedy, as one would call it, right? From the time we started this podcast till now, you've kept it very snappy, your own personal journey, and you're only talking about how it is important for you to connect with masses, connect with people's mind, and communicate the purpose, right? The purpose that you're working on. Bringing me to the next question, Puneet, what is your current or future purpose in life? What is it that you're working on, professionally, personally? Where is your journey at this point of time?
There are a lot of ideas, and there are a lot of interesting projects that I am
Tell us
working with, and
all about
I
it. Tell us all about
absolutely,
it.
I'm living my dream. I had a job in an international bank. I left it because I do not feel like doing it, and also I was facing sort of discrimination on the kind of on my condition. So I felt that okay, workplace inclusion is something that I am really passionate about. So I am consulting organizations, corporate, that how to be more inclusive, especially when it comes to people with neurodivergent conditions. And especially like companies and corporates should listen more, if people are providing feedback, because people are in India, especially like people are really afraid to raise issues, that this is my requirement, this is my need, this is my need to access. No, they are not talking about it. So when there is no disclosure, when there is no both way communication, I think we are losing out a lot, especially like when your employees are stressed out, you're not they're not giving your best. So one of the project that I'm working with is to do my part in terms of workplace inclusion, to make policies, from making policies to actually implementing them. Because we can write all these policies in our documents in a website, but if we are not implementing them, then there is no use of that. So whenever there is some corporate that is coming to me, I always say that that I don't have any magic with me. You have to give me time, or for that matter, you have to give anyone time. You can bring on McKinsey, you can bring on any consultant, but you have to give time, and so that we can analyze, we can measure, we can see what is the need, and then changing through continuous and comprehensive efforts. So this is one of the things. And also
Is this a
I'm trying to
part of the Start enterprise that you are doing? This kind of
no,
consultancy
no,
with,
no,
huh?
no. Start is basically we are working with youngsters, providing them workshops, to workshops on listening, workshops on communication, on love, on joy, on enjoying their lives. So these are very non-conventional workshops, where
Hmm.
we have keep on innovating, keep on using creative things like drawing, then dancing, whatever, like the field. So start is basically from teen to youngsters. Like we are working with college students, we are working with school students, and especially like as I am very passionate, and I feel that youngsters from slums, especially like they, even if they do not have any disability, they are going through a lot. So especially like when it comes to India, like more than half, that is around 55 to 60% of youngsters have some, are facing domestic violence, and that is a very big number, very very big number, due to alcohol by their father, and all this abuse. So I see it's in our responsibility if we can play our part, and also to let them know that there is something that you can do. You can ask for help from police. I asked for help from police, but police didn't do anything. So now I think, if I have some kind of power, some kind of, that I can write, I can reach to people in the power, that then I think police listen to them more, people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
police also require that kind of pressure. So I think it coming from the feedback, that I start as a very flexible thing, we ask that what do you need at this point of
Hmm.
time. Do you need employment opportunities, education opportunities, resources, tools, whatever you need. So I try to provide them through volunteers, through personal donors who have joined me because of my journey,
Hmm.
who actually show confidence in me. And
Sounds like a youth movement, right? It sounds like
yes,
something
yes,
that you're
sure.
doing for the youngsters of our country, mostly from the, economically weaker sections of the society, but also those who really need help and they can't find that help readily available when it comes to
Yes,
any.
yes, Monisa,
Yeah.
and thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for calling it a youth movement. I have never used that word, but I like it so much. I will use it now.
Please do. It sounds
Yeah, yeah.
exactly like that. And I, the other day we were talking with another guest on the podcast, and we were talking about how there is no place or an empathy led organization, right, which can,
Sure. Yeah,
front all social, I wouldn't say socio-economic, but I would call it socio-emotional causes, and
absolutely.
in
Perfect.
this fast moving pace of the world today, where we're driven by development and who's going which place in life, I think these
Mm-hmm.
finer issues are getting left behind, with very very few people who are actually considering. You said, I heard love, I heard joy, I heard nice things here, subjects that I think you're working on. But I actually took you off the path of what you started out telling us about your professional journey, and you were talking about workplace consultancy. And
Yeah.
so this is parallel to what you're doing with Start. And why don't you tell us a little more on that parallel that you were talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So, along with consulting organizations, because it's a it's what I'm doing in my personal capacity. So from this I earn money, because through Start I'm not earning. Apart from that, recently I have uh, I have been exploring the intersection of climate change as well,
Hmm.
with disability, with neurodiversity, with especially in the global south, whatever that is happening. Because coming from Delhi, like the most polluted cities
Hmm.
of the world, the whole of South Asia is one of the most polluted region in the world, and in our elections are there. We are not talking about climate change. We are not talking about things that really matter. So
Hmm.
it's my small effort to actually raise this part as well, and especially the disability community is the most marginalized when it comes to climate change as well. And we are
Right.
not being hard when it comes to talking about the solutions, when it comes to talking about climate mitigation. So I want our community to be one of the stakeholder
Hmm.
when it comes to the government consultancy, when it comes to UN summits and conferences and whatever that is. Like, we should be invited to give
Hmm.
our insights as well, and through Billion Strong as well, as the
Hmm.
chief discovery officer at Billion Strong, under uh, uh, beautiful leadership of Deborah. I think she has really, like, she has been a very important person in my life, through her mentorship, through the love and respect that she has given me. I think
Hmm.
she has given me like that kind of freedom, okay, that she has uh, confidence in my uh, 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 capabilities that I can do this part. So they have, because I don't like that I've been micromanaged. That okay,
Hmm.
do that, do that. No, I don't like that kind of bossy attitude. And Deborah was just like that. She was just nurturing me from last 2 years, and
Hmm.
through like showing confidence. And this has really made me a very, I think, a very
Confident.
uh, confident and very, in terms
Hmm.
of a very poised person. It given me a lot
Hmm.
of calmness, because
Hmm.
otherwise I had this anxiety, that I
Hmm.
want to make it in this world. I want to make it in the world. Now I know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right
Hmm.
track, and whatever I'm doing, I'm doing. That
Hmm.
kind of thing, that I do not want validation from anyone. That round Deborah plays a huge role in that thing as well. So I think I'm
Nice.
very privileged and lucky and
Hmm.
fortunate that I have a beautiful team that understand each other, that
Hmm.
that do not interfere and do not micromanage. As I'm the youngest one in the team, so I'm that kind of insecurity is also coming, because in India, like, hierarchy is there. I
Hmm.
have done some kind of jobs as well, and people try to pressurize you. People try to show you your place, that okay, okay. So this is not
Yes.
being done with me right now, and I'm living my dream.
I wanted to ask you, Puneet, this question when I was listening to you, especially speak this last part. You are, I think, currently talking about issues at a global disability, inclusion sort of a, subject, not just talking about it at a local, national level anymore. This is the kind of, I think,
Yeah.
emotion that I have seen you emote through your work, through whatever posts that I've read about, your work on social media. What is your take on the disability movement at an India level, and what is your take of it at a global level? Because I see you understand a bit of both. So could you just throw some light on that? Because I know it's a big question, but if you
Mm-hmm.
could break it
Yeah.
down simply, I think that'll be nice
Yeah,
to.
it's a wonderful question, because I always draw parallel between these two worlds. That my one leg is in the West, and my other leg is in India. So it's I have observed a lot of stark uh, differences, especially like in India. We are just starting. It's a very early moment, and we have a lot of organizations that is working, but that is very policy driven, very technical, quantitative. Okay, these are the numbers, these are the policies, these are the things, blah blah blah. So I think this it's very uh, technical, mechanical, and all of these things, because we're not talking about the quality of the life. We're not talking about other aspects of life, which has been discussed in the West for quite some time, especially when it comes to UK, Australia, US. Like, these 3 4 countries are spearheading that movement. Also in India, like, the space is occupied. The people who are leading, they're not uh, prepared. They're not ready to leave the space, to share that space. And and it, and it really makes me uncomfortable. It really makes me, because you will see, and I do not mingle that much with other organizations and advocates, because there is this kind of scarcity mindset, that if you are getting that thing, then I'm not getting it. But in reality, we all can win together, and we will only win if we are together.
Only if you're together,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because the
I
culture,
second
because
that.
the corruption.
I, s-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
second that, Puneet. In fact, this is exactly why I dissolved my barriers, because unless we come together, we might think that, oh, my cause is bigger than yours and yours is not as big as mine. But, this is not that space where there should be competition. Competition can be in
Yeah.
workplaces, it can be in the education field, etc. But this is one, I think, sect of our community, society or community, where unless and until we come together, there will
Mhm.
never be a large scale solution in a country like ours, where there are so many subjects where we are backward. I'm sorry to say this, but we are honestly backward in
Yeah,
various
yeah.
subjects, right? So I completely agree with you. Please continue.
Me,
Acha,
like,
one.
I'm a very kind of a sensitive person. I can read expressions from people's face. But I have faced that thing as well, in other parts of the world as well, but especially when it comes to India, like, people, like, advocates and activists play a huge role. you know and activists, they we are not here to become superstars in any kind of activism, be it climate change, be it mental health, be it LGBTQ movement. Like, it creates a space for a requirement of self care as well, and self cleansing of your intention attitude as well.
What did you observe on the global platform? Do you find it a little more different? What's your understanding of the subject on that?
They are more aware that these things can happen. These are, when it comes to race, invest race is a big thing. So they observe, they know that people of color and and the black activists and all of these people, they have their own different challenges as well. So they accept and acknowledge, which is being not done in
Do
India.
you feel we can reframe this understanding and say that the inclusion movement or the disability inclusion movement, let's say, and concerning all sectors of disabilities, is a little more organized globally and not so organized in India? Can we use a terminology like that to sort of encapsulate this understanding, or do you feel it's not just organization, it has got more to the chaos?
I think unorganized movements are good, because you are playing your part, I am playing my
Hmm.
part. There is no requirement for organization as said. We don't need to be in alignment. But the
Hmm.
point is to have mutual respect. On a brighter note, that we have been learning, this generation of activists, have a better uh, uh, understanding of the issues, like,
Hmm.
the newer ones that is coming, because they have grown up in an India where the resources were not lacking. My
Hmm.
parents were there, so they have that very restricted mentality, that resources are lack. So they
Yes.
also feel that, okay, the space is very small space is there. So I think the new generation have a broad mindset that we can all be together in that, and there is enough opportunities for all to win, to all to be, like, personally successful as well. I would say, in the global context, we are just catching up, and it's a very exciting time for India as well. A lot of uh, uh, good things has been done by the government as well, and you know government is not a kind of, we think of government as something who a kind of a body that understand and know everything. No, government also need our support. Government also need our help to help us. So it's our job to raise the concern, raise these issues, raise the awareness, so that government can understand that this is the need, and these are the voters with disabilities that can really make a difference. So I think government should be incentivized of all of these things, and this is, like, the new kind of movement that has been raising in India, like, catching up with the ADA from US, or UK or Australia. So I think it's an exciting times as well. So with
Hmm.
some ups and down, I think we are on the right track,
You
and
know
and
what's
with
amazing, Puneet, is that if you've noticed how we are progressing, um, especially in the current the scenario of government in India, we have a space where people with disabilities are fairly acknowledged and recognized compared to how it was a couple of
yeah.
years ago, where there was absolute no mention. There was this very ableistic mindset that existed in the society, etc. But today, if you notice, and this is, I'm just mapping the progress of counting the blessings, as one calls it. So the government is acknowledging the space. They are making efforts to create inclusion. We have the RPWD Act, though implementation is not yet 100%, but yes, we do have a proper act in place, and one of the strongest act that exists globally. Even in organizations, even in workplaces, there are ample amount of discussion happening on diversity, equity, and inclusion, though again implementation is far from where it should be. But at least we have made, we have taken these baby steps and come till here. And I think, rather than uh, continuing at this slow pace, which I believe is still slow, we need to kind of get into a hand in glove approach with other folks from outside India, maybe at a global level, and learn the lessons that have been learned outside India, bring it back into our country and implement it, rather than continuing making those mistakes and then losing time learning from it. Because somewhere, I think, like you rightly said, the climatic downfall that we are all sort of experiencing globally, that isn't going to wait for us to catch up with it, right? And somewhere we all have to come together and ensure that, while we try to fight our own battles in silos, we are looking at climate change very, very seriously, right? And the
Perfect. Yes,
first
yes,
category of
100%.
people, the first category of people who is going to get affected very, very badly is going to be the people who are people who are living with disabilities of different kinds, because they are not going to be as sharp and as able to fight these climate change wars, right? So somewhere I feel unifying our efforts, at a global level, learning lessons from the West is the key, because we have a lot otherwise to catch up on and invent. And innovation obviously will remain the mother of all needs, but only after we learn the right lessons without repeating too many mistakes. I think that is a beautiful takeaway from this discussion, Puneet, that I'm getting by talking with you. If I may ask you now, what is your focus when it comes to the kind of work that you are doing today, whether it is with Start, whether it is with your consultancy with workplaces for creating more inclusion and diversity? What is your primary focus, with the work that you're doing?
I think my focus is that to summarize it in one line, that perfect time will never come. you know we are all been waiting for that time, that things will change. I think we need to just walk on the path, and we will learn on that path, with feedback, with listening to each other, with empathy, with all of these things. I think we will be learning, and I'm also learning, and the corporate also learning, the government is learning, our fellow activists are learning, we ourselves, we are also making changes. So instead of waiting for the perfect time, that that things will fall into place, we have to actually act on whatever we know, and through constant changes and improving on whatever we can. I think we are making changes, and everything that I do, every project is just based on that, because I'm a kind of a perfectionist as but I've stopped thinking, I'm just doing.
Hmm.
That okay, people will tell me, the people, because we cannot tell everything. We don't know anything at all.
Have all the
It's a very
answers.
big world.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
so I think just playing your part, just starting the projects, and I'm a very lazy founder. I'm a very very lazy person. I just start things, and then okay, instead of just doing uh, writing an article maybe, or doing a workshop. I'm not focused on doing on one part. I'm okay, I will do five changes on the way,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and from the first and the fifth edition, I think the draft, the things will drastically improve. So this is
Hmm.
this is my process, that okay, make five or six drafts, and then you
Hmm.
can make it. From my writing to from my workshop facilitation, from my storytelling, but whatever I do, I I,
Hmm.
I I make sure that I'm changing drafts a lot. I'm learning through all of these
So
iterations.
how does a week or a month in the life of Mr. Puneet look like?
Last few months have been really busy, because my elder brother got married, and so I was also like taking part on all these traditions and rituals as well. So I was trying to try to make space for my work as well. From my school time, I've been a nocturnal person. I love nights, because this is the part of the time where there is not much noise. People cannot disturb me. I have my own space, I have my own time. I can just enjoy, doing my part. So I think nights are very interesting. So I make sure that I'm working at night, because I'm more productive, I have more ideas at night. and during days I'm very kind of not working, kind of spending time with my mom as well, because I make sure that I'm spending at least 2 3 hours of very healthy discussion with my mom. And she's been like amazing. She have told me things, because she's not like, we cannot say her she is like traditionally well educated, but the ideas that she has given me, the feedback that she gives, the kind of wisdom that she have. So I always make use of these wisdom. I always share, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and she have something, something out of the box every day, and I'm just amazed, like, oh, how do you do that? So I think
Hmm.
spending time with my mom is like, is a one constant that I always wanted to do.
You're going to get along very well with Kia when you meet her. I think she and me are equally attached, and she will tell you the same thing that you're saying, telling me about you and your mother. But that's very interesting to know, right? And I think what it is highlighting is that sometimes the best lessons, in life are actually taught by your own people, right? It doesn't come from the world outside all the time. Some of the, I think, learnings come from those who have lived with some experience. And we should never neglect elders in our family who take time out to actually have these little conversations with us, right, and try to contribute to our journeys. But this is very interesting, Puneet. I have, like I was telling you, we've had guests who've talked about their different approaches in this direction, where they're working in the field of disability inclusion. Somebody's working for visible in disabilities. Somebody's working for invisible. Somebody's just creating inclusion in general in the society. Uh, Tomorrow, going forward with your journey while you're experimenting and evolving, do you have like an ambition or a dream that you have envisioned, that yes, mujhe yahan tak pahunchna hai, I want to do this kind of, I want to get till there, maybe this is one of the milestones that I would like to achieve through my work? Do you have uh, any such ambition that you have in life?
I guess I always wanted to be a director.
Oh,
I
that's
think I
nice.
have I have something in me regarding, that uh, storytelling, camera angles, and
Nice.
nostalgia. Nostalgia is very important part, because stories take you somewhere, and I've always been listening to stories from other people, be it podcast, be it reading books. So all of these kinds of stuff, I want to make a story where, a kind of, a series of documentaries maybe, where I am sharing, I'm telling the stories of different youngsters with disability, making their own
I was just
changes in
going to
their
say
lives.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was just
So
going
I
to say
think
that.
that is my dream.
Mm,
Yeah.
I was just going to say that probably you can become the first. Why shouldn't it be mainstream? Probably one of its kind commercial film director who makes movies on inclusion and on lives of people who are living with different kinds of disabilities, and make them the hero of the stories rather than a side
Absolutely.
character or a support character or somebody at the back end being a shadow crossing the road with a stick. And we don't have, we honestly need people who are thinking differently and trying to inject their ideas into different mainstream verticals of our society, and show disability as a part of life, not something which needs to be casted out, something that you should be shy about, something that one should feel cursed about. And unless and until we get them into the mainstream discussions, this is not going to happen, Puneet. I think, in my opinion, if you ask me, all of us have suffered the stigma. All of us, be it you, be it me with my daughter.
Absolutely.
You talk to anybody, and we've all suffered this, from this stigma, because of the fact that people are not aware. They haven't seen much, that they don't know how to connect with people who land up with these serious challenges in life, etc. So I hope your dream comes true, and someday we see good movies, very heartfelt movies, where somebody is storytelling differently, and talking about different
Thank you
abilities.
so much, Monisha. Yeah.
Please do pursue it. If there is anything that I can do ever, please do let me know. But this is an idea that a lot of people have actually spoken about. When you When
Yeah.
you hear the podcast series, you'll realize that not just once but multiple times people have brought up,
Yes.
why don't we see movies, of people with disabilities in the as mainstream heroes? From people around you who are listening to you today, what is it that you would want people to contribute with when they come to you or they interact with you and support you? What kind of support are you looking for?
I think one thing that I would like to request, that we have to stop being defensive. We in the conventional terms, we all have uh, a weakness, so-called weakness, right? Which I learned, earlier in my life, when my brother had alopecia and I have stammering. So he used to look very different, because he didn't have hairs at that time, and I was speaking in a different way. So we were facing discrimination of different sorts, right? And we
Hmm.
used to share that, that okay, if I want to attack you, Monisha, as a person, I can attack you.
Hmm.
I just need to find a weakness in you. I just find not
Absolutely.
even a weakness, just a difference.
Hmm.
In a conventional term, just a difference, and I can attack you, and you will become defensive in no time. So instead of being a kind of this thing, why can't we just appreciate the fact that we, whatever we have, kind of a talent that we have, the kind of approach that we have towards life. And in my support, that I would like to seek support in terms of, just try to make one challenge, one assumption, challenge one stereotype every day, and you will see
Hmm.
that in a year or so, you will spark a lot of amazing conversations. People will come
Absolutely.
out and tell that, okay, this has been done, I've been facing this, I have suffered that. So I
Hmm.
think world is full of such sad stories, and why can't we have some happy stories as well to tell? Okay, that this
Hmm.
person actually took a stand for me. So
Hmm.
I will take a stand for me, who has been facing discrimination on in their classroom, in their workplace, in their families, whatever we are facing. I think one
Absolutely.
change, one such kind of conversation will make a difference. And thank you so much, Monisha, for this opportunity, and give my regards to Kia as well.
Everybody has got some drawback or the other, and till date we are still looking for that perfect human being. By the way, we've still not found that one perfect human being who can say that, what, I'm fully able, right? And that is why this girl, whenever she writes, she says that, we all are able in some ways and we are not able in many, and all we have to do is focus on our abilities and forget about what doesn't work in us, right? And maybe that is the best approach to life. So one of the ways I think of softening the minds that I've realized is ask people this one question, that please tell us one person in your life who's fully able bodied and minded. And we'll never get that answer from them. Nobody will be able to answer that question. And the second question I ask, people, is that in the life cycle of a human being, right? हम लोग इतना एक दूसरे को सुनाते हैं, we cut corners and etc. But tell me, is there no phase in our life that we are ever going to feel disabled? A person is born, when the person is born, is the child able to walk? No, you have to, carry the child, you have to pram the child. And when the, old individual is about to leave, his life and leave the planet Earth, he also dies on his crutches, because, they slowly lose their abilities to walk, to sit, to see, to speak, etc. So every human life has to face disability in some form or the other in different phases, right? And it is going to be untrue to ourselves if we say that no, disability is only people specific, and they have either a problem of hearing or seeing or walking, or maybe they have neurodiverse issues, etc. Because that is not disability. I think everybody has drawbacks, and everybody's life has to go through that cycle of feeling disabled at some point in time before they leave their lives and leave their bodies. So that is my understanding in the most naive manner that I have been able to decode, Puneet. And I think all of us, we are very passionate. I think only because we have realized how each of us have got affected by the blindness of the society and people's reaction, purely because of the lack of empathy, not because of anything else, because of the short sightedness. And and it's sad. I feel sad for, for those who have treated us in that manner. So please keep doing the amazing work that you are. Give my
Thank you,
sincere
Manisha. Yeah,
regards to your life coach, who's your mom. And someday we will see amazing movies that are going to be directed by Puneet.
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
and I think reclaiming is the word. I really like the word that you use, reclaim, and that is the word for me.
yeah, I
Yeah.
keep I use a bit of my architectural knowledge in my approach. We reclaim land, right, when we have to build on something.
Yeah.
Some professions, I'll tell you, some professions are highly constructive, and I think when you take up a creative profession, and by the way, filmmaking is probably the most creative profession that you can ever think of having. So when I was enrolled for architecture, I completely unlearned everything that I had learned in my schooling years. Everything. They literally turned my mind upside down. We got a peep into humanities, into human psychology, because ultimately you have to design a space for including a human being. So I never knew that my learning back then, in my profession, will come handy into dealing with life today. So you never know kahan se kaun sa gyan kaam mein aa jata hai, honestly speaking. But we should keep talking. I think we all have a lot to a lot of value to add when we talk with an open mind with each other, and understand each other's journey. And I think that's the only message that I have, that stop, listen, share, and grow together. I had an amazing chat with you, yeah, and I didn't find
Me
you
too. Me
stammering
too.
at
Thank
all.
you.
I think you're the most fluent person on planet Earth I've met. So if anybody
I don't
finds
know. The moment I stopped caring about people, I
See?
stopped stammering as well.
So thank you so much, yeah, for coming today and spending
Thank you
time.
to you, Monisha. Yeah, thank you so much for this
This
opportunity.
is just
Thank
the
you.
first of many more to come. So we'll keep talking.